Hello Sagittarius, welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the career and financial energy for the sign of Sagittarius for the month of July. Now Sagittarius, do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. Now I do not offer personal readings and I will not send you a message on any platform. So do not get scammed. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we have here for you, Sagittarius. Now I am using the Gilded Tarot, the Rider Tarot, and the Kipper Oracle deck. There are links to all of these decks in the description below if you'd like to purchase them for yourself. Also ask that you hit the like button and subscribe, as it really does help my channel grow in a big way. Especially if you are a regular viewer of my content. Please do hit that subscribe button. All right, let's go ahead and make sure we're all set up and in view. I think that's looking just about good enough to me. Go ahead and take 3 of these oracle cards to clarify as we go along. All right, let's go ahead and get right into it here, Sagittarius. Energy on the bottom, you have the Devil. So the Devil is a card that, can be, it's really nothing to fear, just like, any of these cards in the tarot. Really, we shouldn't be fearing any of these readings. There are multiple readings, or there are multiple sort of interpretations for every card. But with this Devil card in particular, this illustrates something that we need to potentially work through. Okay, this is a card of our shadows, as I like to call it. And none of us are perfect. We all have something to sort of kind of overcome or kind of hurdle over in this lifetime, and that's really what the Devil is. The other thing here is this card can come forward when there's a couple of other things going on, addictions, specifically addictions to work, maybe addictions to substances, but also addiction. There are so many things right now in the timeline that we can become addicted to. Like Netflix, video games, food, gambling. It's not just drugs, right? There are so many things that are kind of vying for our dopamine and vying for our attention, and that can come forward with the Devil card. The other thing here is that this can come up with, like power and control issues, but also situations around procrastination can sometimes come forward with the Devil. Let's go ahead and see what we... Let's just dive into this a little bit more here and get some additional messages on what that might be about. So, all right. So right away in the middle here, we have the 3 of Swords. So this 3 of Swords, this is anything that breaks your heart. This can also be, now since we're looking at a career situation, what could be going on here is the 3 of Swords can indicate separation from your career. Okay, this can be leaving a job, this can be getting severed from a job, this can be loss in that area. It could also be, for example, you find that a colleague was backstabbing you, or you find out that there's an emotional situation related to your job, right? So this could be gossiping. I actually don't see a whole lot of gossipy energy. Not really. I think this is probably about separating more than it is something like that. 3 of Swords could also be an emotional releasing that you may need to do. On a more sort of like on a lighter note, the 3 of Swords could be emotional releasing. And now I do have to say, you have 3 maybe challenging cards here, but every other card is incredibly positive. So the majority of cards here are very, very good. So this is one of these readings where I want to see what the clarifications are about, but let's just go ahead and continue forward here. Now in the past, you have the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Magician, and you have the 4 of Wands. So we see you planting some seed here in the past. The Ace of Pentacles is major seed energy. This is something that you kind of plant and eventually grows into the 10 of Pentacles, which is a major card of abundance. The Ace of Pentacles is getting started. It is the start of that sort of journey towards building an empire or building something or so forth and so on. Ace of Pentacles can also be a little bit differently. This can also mean you may be thinking about making a sale or purchasing something, signing off on a contract. It is in the upper row, so it's the row of your thoughts. And that's why I was saying you might be thinking about these things recently, or you may have been thinking about these things recently. It's generally a very, very good card of just, new beginnings and kind of getting started on something. You have the Magician here as well. You can see that the Magician holds all of the tools in the palm of their hand. Okay, they have everything that they need right there available to them in the palm of their hand. This also means that they have it within them. And so the Magician can take the tools, take the talents, the resources, the ability, the skill that they have, and use those to make something, or more importantly, manifest something into their life. The Magician's a major energy of manifestation in the tarot. So it's always a good sign when you get the Magician. It does ask you to take action. I do feel like some of you have taken inspired action to kind of plant a manifestation here with the Magician and the Four of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles. And with the Four of Wands below it, the Four of Wands is a card of stability. It's a card of structure, of foundations, of achievements, of kind of feeling happy and sort of content with your place in the world for the time being. Four of Wands, everybody wants a stable situation. It can also talk about a new start in one's life, because this is actually a card of marriage. And of course, when you go from being married, being single to married, that's a new start, right? That's a new start with another person. It's a new start in your life and in the journey of your life. And so I feel like some of you have really gotten started on something, and maybe you've even been sort of stacking up some achievements here in the past. In the current situation, you have the Eight of Wands, Three of Swords, and the Eight of Cups. There's a clear walking away here. Okay, there's a very clear walking away here showing up in the kind of current situation for your career. Reading here, Sagittarius, okay, I talked about how the Three of Swords is probably most likely severance or separating, or separation from something career related. And then you have that sort of multiplied here with the Eight of Cups, which the Eight of Cups is you walking away from a disappointing situation. These cups here are spilled, empty, and broken, and they represent disappointments. This person here is sort of looking out towards the horizon, and they're about to take a journey towards the Nine of Cups, which is the fulfillment of a wish. And so when you get the Eight of Cups, it's really, truly about walking away. So for me, it's kind of like, it's sort of like with this Eight of Cups, first and foremost, I always like the Eight of Cups, because for me, it's a card of empowerment. And it says that this person's sort of sticking up for themselves and deciding to not stay in the energy of disappointment. But, as I'm looking at this reading, it's sort of like I can't tell if you're walking away or if you're being severed. It's hard to say. I certainly, like to keep my readings positive, but if I'm being totally honest, which I am in these readings, it could be either or. So it's hard for me to say which one it is. The thing is, what I do know in this reading is that this is, whether you walk away or you are sort of being let go, Sagittarius, this is probably going to end up being ultimately good, because you've been disappointed in this situation anyway. And, yeah, so that's that energy of the Eight of Cups. It's like, why would you want to stay in that anyway? And so I know it's easier said than done, but if there is a situation where you are let go or something like this here, or maybe you're in the process of doing that because it's in the current situation column, it's not in the future column, but if this is happening, it may be a good idea to just sort of reframe it in your mind and say, you know what, I didn't really like working here anyway. This wasn't really like for me anyway. And some of you may come to that understanding and literally walk away. You also have this Eight of Wands card. So the Eight of Wands is also a very good card in the tarot. Eight of Wands is like quick movement forward, swift action, swift opportunity. It is good news being kind of arriving. So that's why I'm like saying, like, it's hard for me to say that some of you are, it's hard for me to say which one it is, because Eight of Wands would imply good news, which may also be relating to the walking away thing. It also could say that there's just like a situation in your life progressing It could also say that maybe some of you are taken aback or caught by surprise on something as well. In the future, you have the Six of Wands, the Five of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles. So it's almost like for some of you here, this Devil card, I now know what it is. It's around positivity and mindset. Okay, this is around you letting go of the negative beliefs and the negative thoughts, because you have the Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles can be described as feeling left out, or feeling left out in the cold, or feeling less than, but it's the feeling, it's not reality, right? And so the Five of Pentacles asks you to maybe analyze your relationship to money, maybe analyze your relationship to losses of the past, and see what you can do about creating an abundant mindset for yourself. I do think that you have the ability to do this. I do think some of you maybe are not giving yourself credit for how good you are when it comes to your resources, when it comes to managing your resources. And the reason I say that is because you have this Queen of Pentacles as well below. Queen of Pentacles is somebody who's extremely good at budgeting, at planning, at making practical choices in their life. And so it's almost like maybe some of you need to give yourself a little bit of credit here. I do feel like if there's a situation where you're walking away or you're being let go, it's like, this is not the end for you, okay? This is just the beginning. You have the Six of Wands as well. The Six of Wands is really a card of victory, success, and public recognition. It's a major card of victory. It is the second wind in the suit of wands. So if we take a look here, this upper row, it's like your thoughts here are starting to align towards happiness. Not really happiness might not be the best way to describe it, but your thoughts here are looking to align towards success. Is more like what is this reading is telling you to do, this upper row of your thoughts, right? Moving into success mindset instead of, and letting go of this sort of separation, loss mindset here that's maybe happening with the Three of Swords and the Five of Pentacles Devil energy. So yeah, let's go ahead and see what we get here in the Oracle cards. Okay, yeah, you have pathway, courtship, and thoughts. So I like this for you. The pathway card is a card of your destiny. It's a card of your true north. It's the path that you should be taking in this lifetime, or the path that is sort of set out before you, and one that can lead you to a good situation, that can lead you to success and victory in good times. You have the courtship card as well, which in a career and finance reading really talks about potentially you being headhunted, in that somebody may want to hire you. Somebody may say that like you're a really good fit for this position. And you have this thoughts card as well. Take a look at the paintbrushes here, right? This is symbolism for creativity. This is symbolism for some sort of creative vision in your life. I almost feel like if you are walking away, it's because you know that there's another offer here, and maybe one that potentially allows you to be yourself a little bit more, Sagittarius. And I also think perhaps some of you have been planting this seed for a long time. I do feel like you have an offer in your back pocket, or there's like a way out of this situation is what I feel like saying. Let's go and see what else we have. You have the King of Cups. You have the Strength card. You have the Nine of Pentacles, the Eight of Swords, Four of Swords, and you have the Queen of Pentacles. So you have that Queen of Pentacles twice, which I am really happy to see for you, because I'm like certain in this reading, there's something that I think that you are maybe doing a little bit of negative self-talk here. Okay, I think some of you are engaging in a little bit negative self-talk, which I say I'm happy about, because you can easily correct that. You can easily solve that. And I get the sense that some of you are definitely capable of, handling yourself, handling your money, handling your resources, budgeting, planning, preparing, saving for the future. I also think that you have the capability of making practical choices in your life. And not only that, but you have this Nine of Pentacles here. You can see the symbolism. They have saved their money, right? They have not only saved their money, but they've put their money to work as well. The pentacles are growing on the tree, indicating that this is something that is passively generating for them. As soon as they take one pentacle, it grows back, right? And so it's this idea of being financially independent, financially content, and financially secure. And you know what? Some of you may want to keep doing those sort of, some of you may want to use some affirmations at this time to really help yourself out. There is something around healing here, and I think it's healing negative thoughts, again, with the Four of Swords and the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords is like somebody who's has a solution in front of them, but they cannot see the solution. And so I think it's like maybe taking a step back, reframing a situation, and realizing that it's probably taking you in a better place than you're maybe giving yourself credit for. King of Cups, strength, willpower, and really the ability to work through any sort of emotional challenge that's coming your way. On the bottom, you have the Knight of Cups. There will be a happy event that arrives. I also think some of you are creating a creative vision for yourself here, and you're doing something with the creative side of life. So thank you so much for being here, Sagittarius. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe. Really appreciate you, and I will see you in the next reading.